I guess if you want to hear my main issue in 30 seconds, it's that the best Age of Sigmar model came out 6 months ago for 40k. I guess we're just diving straight into this. We're already starting off well. It's way too hot. So we got some big reveals this week in Age of Sigmar, and spoiler alert, I was not impressed with any of them particularly. However, they do address probably the biggest issue in Age of Sigmar, which was its lack of interesting human factions. And no, the lightning-empowered demigods don't count. And who have we received to lead the free cities into battle? The Lioness of Parch. An absolutely incredible model that everybody seems to love, and like 4 people will buy because it's gonna be like $200. There was, and still is, a lot of truth to the idea that if you like playing the game, you should go 40k, and if you like painting and building models, you should do Age of Sigmar. But it really feels like Games Workshop is starting to shift their monetization according to that as well. I'm not complaining that Age of Sigmar has so many big $150 to $200 centerpiece units, but some factions, especially with Warcry blowing up and with good models with bad rules being such a bad investment, I think what they really need, if anything, for Age of Sigmar is a lot more $30 to $50 monsters and heroes to fit somewhere in that more reasonable zone where a lot more people can actually buy and paint them. And I suppose that brings us to number 4, the Free Guild Marshal. It's boring. 40% of the model is covered by hanging fabric, so I guess this section can be 40% shorter too. But the battle line, that was actually kind of cool, with one big exception. The Steel Helms, premier fighters of the free cities of Sigmar. They're okay. Don't get me wrong, the vibe of the free cities is all about regular people. Peasants, militia, bakers, and blacksmiths picking up hammers and swords to fend off the forces of darkness. I think they actually nailed that aspect of the models really, really well, in fact. I love infantry, as you'll know if you've watched this channel for a while, and I think these managed to look cohesive, but also very individual at the same time, you know? You can imagine each member of this force having their own story, but they're still a unit. But why are they all melee units? Just why? Average people picking up hammers is a theme, but so is cooperation. Could they not have had pistols maybe? Or maybe instead of 20 steel helms, we could have gotten 15 and then 5 riflemen, 5 crossbowmen, maybe a field gun, field artillery unit, something like that, something small. Just something other than just humans with swords and maces. I don't know, the last big reveal was for Slaves to Darkness, and I can't help but notice that this reveal is just basically worse versions of the same units we got there. And don't get me wrong, Slaves to Darkness are cool, but my point is, if I'm going to buy a box that's heavy cavalry, I'm gonna buy Slaves to Darkness. If I'm gonna buy a box set that's mostly infantry, I'm probably gonna do it in the most cost-effective fashion, which is the unit that specializes in heavy infantry. Just buy that box instead for the same price, pretty much. I know more is on the horizon, but I just really need a free cities army to have a lot more diversity in terms of the actual units and the weapons thrown in. But that just kind of leads on to the bigger issue, and this is where I become a lot less popular. Power creep is really becoming a thing in Warhammer, which is absolutely insane when you consider where we started from. I will ultimately criticize this box set for the same reason that, yeah, I'm gonna be a lot less popular after this. I didn't like the Cadia Stands box. Just didn't like it. I don't like the new Astra Militarum in general, and it's for the same reason I don't like these Free Cities models. It's just more humans with armor who shoot things, or in this case, humans with armor who smash things. I don't know, when I think of a mixed human force, I want each unit to look like it has a job, has a battlefield role. I don't know, an entire box set of just melee infantry for humans just isn't that interesting. We got one sort of magic user, but we didn't get any artillery, no guns, no crossbowmen, no regular bows, no monsters, no machines, and one kind of lackluster hero, at least in terms of the design. Like I said, a good chunk of the model is just hanging fabric. I just don't want to see the Free Cities go down the same path as the Stormcast Eternals, where it's just an entire army of dudes in armor, basically only separated by a sculpt and a name. What they actually do on the battlefield, you gotta go look at the rules to even figure that out. So, what is the solution then? Well, I'd like to turn your attention to the cavalry from this box, which, spoiler alert, I didn't like. Kind of is why the video is named, 5 things I didn't like. And I will admit here off the bat that the cavalry have a really, really strong Bretonia vibe, and I've heard a lot of people really, really appreciating that. And I get that a lot of people are also going to buy this set to use in Warhammer the Old World. I get that, so it's good that Games Workshop is mixing up the use of these models. That's good. And you could also use them theoretically in a different tabletop medieval setting if you'd like to, which again is good. I would have preferred, if I were going to get human cavalry, maybe a more cuirassier type unit. God, I probably butchered that. Something more light and flexible. Don't try to just have heavy armored human cavalry, because there are already other factions that do that way better. So if you want to build a free cities army, it needs to be a mixed army. That's kind of the point of playing a human faction in general. I need the units to have more flexibility and be more interesting. Just guys who hit things in armor is just, it's just not enough. And I know there's more reveals coming, so maybe I'm just crazy. But let me know what you guys think down below. Am I being too harsh on these models? Am I not being harsh enough on these models? Will you guys actually start building an Age of Sigmar army? Will you guys start building a free cities army based on this release? I know a lot of people in the comment section of the reveal trailer were saying they were definitely buying this army, but who's willing to put their money where their mouth is the real question. Anyway, let me know down below. I am curious to know your guys' thoughts. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.